In October, national news outlets placed Dayton at ground zero of the opioid crisis when a record number of deaths occurred in the city in a single day due to an accidental overdose. Few in Ohio have been untouched by this epidemic, which isn't helped by the negative stories about addiction covered by mainstream media. Today, I'm pleased to be sitting down with Lauren White, a social entrepreneur who wants to change the conversation. She's creating a solution-based media campaign to focus instead on stories of recovery and the importance of community, love, and connection. Thanks for being here today, Lauren.
Yes, thank you for having me.
This is awesome. All right, so can you give a little background on how you came to be involved in making a film series on the opiate addiction?
Yeah, I know the issue really hits home for me. I've been the sister of someone who struggles with addiction for over 15 years. He's struggled. So the issue hit home, and when I kept seeing like the negative things, I knew I wanted to do something. And so this brainstorm process occurred over the course of like 3 months of like, what could we do? And really it was this like big group collective thought of like, okay, let's make this like a year-long campaign with like mini stories.
Why was it important to tell the story through film?
I just know that in this like fast-paced world, like a lot of people enjoy slowing down a little bit, enjoy hearing things through like visual storytelling. And so we just felt that, you know, with video the way that it is on social media right now, like it would be so powerful. And these are only 1 to 2 minute stories. So they're very brief to just really like get to this strong message of what this person has gone through and like what has helped them get through it.
What surprised you personally about making these films and making them?
Well, throughout making them, I knew we wanted to make them to help people have hope. But throughout the journey, my brother was actually really struggling, and I would show up on set and I would be at my lowest with my hope. Like I didn't know what was going to be the end road for my brother. I was very scared. And by the end of hearing these stories, like I was in tears. I felt my hope coming up. I saw that people recover in real time, even though I know they do, but seeing this person and hearing them share their story, like I just like gave them all the hugs and said like, thank you. Like I needed this. And I just hope that that's the experience that people can have when they see them.
That's good. So that's a good takeaway for the audience. I mean, I think that, you know, that it's a personal journey, but it's universal, that there are points. And so talk a little bit about like the fact that it's not just the same, like one of the things that we always think about the opioid crisis is that it's monolithic, but these people are really diverse. They're from all these different backgrounds. And so it's really important to tell that story.
These are stories of any type of addiction. It's not just focused on opioids because, and all these people are at various forms of their recovery. And not all of them are people who struggle with addiction. Some of them are family members, like sharing, like, how did I cope, right? So no matter their length of recovery or their connection to the issue of addiction, or no matter the substance, it's various angles to just show, like, there's different pathways that everyone has. Everyone has their own unique thing. And it's kind of like this belief in like an agnostic recovery. Like we don't care how you get there, as long as you're alive and you are well, like, and that's why we wanted to share 26 stories, because it's very, very different story.
And so in a context, I mean, you're using art to kind of tackle this issue. Do you see this as being like a catalyst for more artists and more people to speak up and to use different mediums to kind of highlight this issue?
Yeah, I know. It's interesting because we've had a couple people in recovery who are interested in being integrated in the process of producing these. So, you know, trying to engage people in the process of art as a means of recovery. And one of the ladies who shared her story, like her recovery is because of art. So it's interesting that we're using art and storytelling to share recovery, but it's also the very thing in a medium that allows for recovery. And so I do think that we'll see some alternative types of recovery that are focused around art, and even preventative for children. Like, there's some preventative work being done that can be around art.
Any advice for especially putting things on film? Do you tell people just go for it? I mean, do you need a production company to be a social entrepreneur to make films? I mean, do you,
Yeah. I mean, we have like a bootstrap crew with this thing. Like, you know, everyone's donating their time. Like, anyone can do it. I think that when you're focused on your why and making a difference, things don't have to look perfect. They don't have to be polished. They don't have to be Hollywood. Like, life's not perfect. Like, it's the intent and it's the heart and what you want to do.
Anyone can do this. And like, pick up a phone, an iPhone, and our phone.
Yes.
Or just, you know, just take photographs.
Yes.
Write stories. So that's really, hopefully that's an inspiration for this. And so, Lauren, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it.